All right, people. Day ocho. That's how we say it down here in Southern California. We say ocho around here. That's day 8 for the rest of y'all. Okay? That's day 8. How we doing? How we doing, huh? Are we doing okay? No skin off my nose, no sweat, no sweat. We getting into that sketchbook and making it happen. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so now the last day yesterday we talked about simplified shapes, right? That's the key right there to get your drawing going in the right direction. Once you stack this, house of cards, you want it to go right, people. It's much easier to build it right the first time than to come back after you already built it and try to rehabilitate it. You know what I'm saying? It's much easier to break up with somebody and find somebody better than to try to rehab that relationship. We all been there. Anyway, enough about that. It's much easier if you start off on the right foot and get her going the right direction. Use simplified shapes. That's what we doing, okay? Now, then I get this comment from these people and they say, okay, Ray, you told us to use simplified shapes, but how the hell do we do that? You didn't show us. And I said, that's true. I didn't show you. But I did that on purpose because I wanted you to go out there and struggle. Struggle, people. Now, I wanted you to struggle so that when it came time for me to give you the information, you were ready to receive it. You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh, okay, that sounds good. Now, why do we use simplified shapes? Why do we simplify it all? Well, the real reason we simplify is so that we can solve the problems easier. Okay? Now, we make a step-by-step process to solve certain problems at a certain time. It's that concept of eating the cake one bite at a time instead of shoving the whole damn thing in your mouth. Okay? We use this simplified shape so that we can easily look down at our paper and say, oh, that's too fat, that's too thin, that's too long, that's too short. Let me give you an example. Now, I did this last night for y'all. I drew it up, a little process. Now, I got it right here. I'm gonna flash it over in the corner. You'll see it over here. Some magic or something. Okay. Now, on the first picture, we have just lines. We just drew a stick figure. You can do that, right? That's pretty easy. You can just draw a stick figure. Ain't too complicated. Now with the stick figure in the first process, and on the first part of the process, we're just looking to establish the figure, or whatever the hell it is we're drawing, but in this case we're drawing a figure. Then we want to get the general proportion right, okay? And then we want to get the gesture right, so the rhythm. The rhythm is the gesture, how that looks, right? Is he sitting there, and this guy in particular, he's holding the gun. Does he look serious, like he's really holding that gun? Does he look relaxed? Does he look like he's ready to do some business? He's serious? Well, if you get the rhythm right, then he does. And this is the step in the process to get that position of that rhythm and that gesture right. Because you can't go back and fix it later. You're going to fuck it all up, okay? You're going to mess it up. It's not going to be as fluid as it can be right now. Got a helicopter going over. Get out of here, helicopter. All right. It can't be as fluid as you need it to be. Also, you got other balls in the air. If you're juggling balls, well, in the very beginning, you got one ball. Okay, let's get that gesture right. In the second, you got 2 balls. In the third, you got 3 balls. And you want to solve those problems in the right order so it's easy to juggle those balls. Okay? Now, in the second one, we got the simple shapes, right? We go ahead and we do what we did in the first one, but in the second one. We put the smaller shape of like the arm, of the hand. It's just a cylinder. It's just a square. Okay? Then we look at it with our eyeball and we say, is that too fat? Is that too thin? Does that look right? And we get the basic landmarks correct. Is this where the elbow goes? Is this where the shoulder goes? Is this where the knee goes? Now, it's really easy when it's really simplified because you can see, oh, that knee don't belong there. It should go down here. Oh, that elbow, it's a little bit too fat. It should be thinner. Or that hand, it looks like a little triceratops hanging. Little triceratops. T-Rex. T-Rex. And that's what you want to do. You want to make those problems easy to spot and easy to solve. Okay, so you solve all those problems right then and there. The limb proportion, and then you go back and you do a refinement check at the end of that step. You say, okay, does that gesture still look good? Yep. Does his leg still look long enough? Yep. Does his arm still look good? Yep. Okay, I'm ready to go on to the next one. And then in the third step, we have the simplified shapes of the anatomy. We start to put those in there. We start to, instead of having the shoulder just be a cylinder or a ball, now we kind of make it look like a deltoid. Or we make it look like a tricep. Or we make it look like a bicep. Or we make it look like the corner of an elbow. But we still just use simplified shapes. Simple. It just like, you look at that, you look at the deltoid up here, and it just looks like a little blob. It don't look like a muscle, it just looks like a little blob. Then you look at down at his legs, and they're just kind of cylinders with a little bit of extra oomph on them. You know what I mean? You look at the knee, and it's just like a little square, okay? And we keep it that way, right? And we solve the problem. Now, does that look like how the rhythm of the arm would be? Does that look like how his leg would be? We say, yeah, it does. It looks good. I look down at his knee. Is his knee in the right location? Yeah, it sure is. Oh, his foot doesn't look like it's about right. Let me extend that out a little bit further. And then let me redraw that. And then that's what you do. So every part of the process, you go back and you do the refinement again on the previous part. And you tighten it up a little bit tighter. You tighten it up a little bit tighter until finally, by the third stage, you got your mannequin of the simple shapes of the person, and you're ready to go. Everything's in the right proportion, everything's in the right perspective, everything's in the right flow for the gesture, and it feels good when you look at it. That's what you want when you're drawing. Now, you can do this with anything. You can do it with cars, you can do it with animals, you can do it with trees. I know everybody loves them trees around here. You can do it with trees too, right? It's just much more simpler with those things. Because the human body is the most complex thing to draw, okay? So you're going to draw a tree, it's really easy. You throw yourself up a couple of ovals with a nice little line, and you got the gesture of your tree. Then you throw in a couple of circles, a couple of cylinders, and you got your tree. Then you're ready to go. You're ready to go on to the final stage of rendering, okay? Now, we're not there yet. We haven't talked about rendering, right? Now, you're saying, okay, Ray, I got you. That all makes sense up here, right? That all makes sense. I say draw the face, draw it simple. Put the eyes in the right place, put the mouth in the right place, and then go on from there. You got it, right? It's easy. Now go ahead and draw it. Then it becomes hard, right? So let's talk real quick about how to practice this, okay? So I did a whole page of practice, all right? I did a whole page of practice, and here's my page right here. Check that out. Now I'm going to flash that up over here too with magic. I did a whole page of practice, people. Now in this whole page of practice, I kept it basically in the lines, the simplified lines, with a couple simple shapes in there to get the gestures right, to get it to look like a person. Now, I think this is where the real fascination and the real magic of what art really is the fact that you can use abstract lines and get the gesture and understanding and the visual of what a real person looks like down on the paper. To me, that's just magical. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to take whatever it is that you're excited about drawing. Cars, trees, people, boobs, whatever, animals, who knows, okay? Birthday cake. Maybe you love cakes. I don't know. And you fill up a page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did 9 little drawings here, okay? Each drawing only took me about 2 to 3 minutes. And you go on to the next one. You go on to the next one. You go on to the next one. And that's what your practice is, okay? So if I have 9, we'll say 10 times 3 is 30 minutes, okay? So do yourself 10 little simplified drawings like this of whatever it is that you want to draw for 30 minutes and fill up your page. Okay, you could do that, can't you? And then if you want to do something else afterwards, go ahead and do that. But this is how you practice. This is how you put in the work. This is where it really starts to get exciting. Because what you can do with this right here will blow your mind later. So let's get out there, let's get after it, and let's do it. All right.